Good evening. We are going to start the press conference with an opening statement from head coach Alan Knipe. Then we'll open it up to questions for Coach, Mark Moody, and Spencer Olivier. Coach, go ahead.
Yeah, it was an interesting match. I thought we played really well at the beginning, and I thought Northridge got going a little bit in the second set, and then I thought that we struggled all season long. We've been really dialed in blocking the ball, and I thought we got credit to Northridge. They did a good job. We didn't block a lot of balls tonight, and it took us a little bit of time to get into that mode that there's other ways to win. And our defense got really, really good as the match went on. We dug a lot of balls. That's a lot more difficult way to do it, as far as to have to get those creates from the floor defense and touches and then have to set it and kill it. It's a lot more effort, right, than an ace or a block. I think that frustrated us a little bit for a while, and then I think the guys settled in and realized, let's just get into a little bit of a slugfest and grind the way through this. I thought that there was a lot of good in the match. I thought Spencer was outstanding in the match. I thought he served great. I thought he killed his ball. He did so many good things for us. But I thought Mark did a great job coming in and giving us a little bit of offense and anchoring our block and defense, and just it brought some calming to the storm a little bit. And really proud of what he did and getting Shane back from being out for a couple of weeks. It's kind of been a little bit of musical chairs in the middle for us, not by design, but it just kind of getting the healthiest guy out there. But right now we got all four guys ready to go, and that makes me excited because they've all played and they've all produced, and we can use any of them, and we showed that tonight. So great for the win, great for the guys, clinched the regular season title. I'm really proud of them for that. You can never, it never gets old to do that. So you take a moment to reflect on how much work went into that, and then realize we play again tomorrow night. And then we'll get after that and go from there and expect another battle with Northridge up there tomorrow night.
All right, this is a question for Alan. Obviously, this was a barn burner, and you're now at halftime. Like, what's going to be the message to the entire team going into the final regular game of the season?
Yeah, I think there's going to be a lot of things we realize we could have done better. Some of these, a couple of their guys had a really, really good night, So you got to give credit to it. They played hard. They do a good job training them. Jeff's doing a good job with that group, and they've had a couple of good wins. They had a good win lately against San Diego, and they came in and played hard. So credit to them. So we expect them to play like that again tomorrow night, and that's great because at this point in the season, every game's going to feel like that. So it's okay if it doesn't feel easy or come comfortably to you. And we've stressed on our guys all year that we can win in many different ways. We can win with our side-out offense, our block and defense, our transition, just our side-out offense, whatever it takes. And I think we proved that to ourselves tonight. But there's a lot of things that we could probably do, especially in those second and third set, to make it a little bit easier. Because when you don't block a ton of balls in that second set and you're not digging a ton of balls, you can't miss a whole bunch of serves like we did either. And so we kind of were humming along and then stuck a wrench in our own spokes in that second set, not taking anything away from how Northridge played. So those are moments that you learn from, and you move on. And at this time of the season, it doesn't really matter if it's in 3 or in 4 or if it was sometimes pretty or ugly. The most important thing is finding ways to get the W and move on. And that's the message that'll be tomorrow night for tomorrow night.
All right, this question's for Mark and Spencer. 4 losses this year, all of them were the 5th set. How was it to kind of get that proverbial monkey off the back to get this win in 5 after the 4 losses in 5, and especially last week against UC San Diego as well?
Yeah.
You want me to go? There's always a response, I would say. Those 4 losses are something to learn from. There's a lesson that comes with all of them. And I think ultimately the lesson is there's always more. There's always more meat on the bone. We can always, do a little bit more with blocking, a little more with defense, a little more offense, serving, just as Alan was saying. And, I think tonight, like he said, blocking was a little bit tough, but we were able to squeeze out points with our defense, our offense, our trans, our serving especially. I think Spenny especially did a great job tonight. Serving, looking at the stats, you didn't miss a single serve. And so, we worked, some more grit there's more effort, and that's that. Do you have anything else, Benny?
Yeah, I mean, I think we just flex what we can do. I wasn't it's not really been in my head, the fifth set, or I think it's just as long as we do our job and as long as we're flexing our system, there's nothing to be worried about. We're not going to think about, we lost fifth sets. I think it's just as long as we do what we can do, then we're good.
It's a question for Mark. Obviously, it was senior night, and you being the lone senior on the team, you've had a lot of experiences with Long Beach State. Kind of reflect on what you've learned from Long Beach State men's volleyball, and what were some of your top moments or favorite moments?
There's a bunch of favorite moments. I think some obvious ones could be the championships, 2018, 2019, but I wouldn't say those are my ultimate favorite. I'd say just my favorite moments in general or just ones with the team. I think there's been a ton of lessons, not even just within volleyball, but within our culture and the way Coach teaches the game to us. There's more depth to it than just with volleyball. It goes into just life in general, how we respond to things, how we deal with frustration, leading into determination. You either choose one or the other, and ideally we want to choose determination. I think my 5 years being here, Spenny came in my freshman year too, so we've went through a lot together, and there's just been a ton of growth, not even just collectively, but even individually, as far as learning how to be a part of a team, how to, respond to things, how to communicate. And so there's that.
Let me add one thing to that. When you opened it up, it's important to talk about Mark. This is not just for Long Beach State, for all programs and all sports. This has been a difficult couple of years, and for these guys, it's more than just volleyball. They've been pulled out of their dorms, some of the guys on our team, and like many schools, I'm not saying that we're the only one, and life flipped upside down, and hurry up, let's get back. We're going to start. We're not going to start. We're not. There's no fans. There is fans. We're back. Coronavirus, we're shut down at the beginning of this season again. So it's been 3 seasons at some parts of all 3 of the last seasons affected by it. Last year we had no fall. We trained not one day in the fall. We trained not one day in January. It wasn't until February 16th that we trained. There's only so much you can really do on Zoom, and when you're coaching volleyball. But their resiliency and this, especially the guys that have been around a while, and Mark in particular, of staying positive and being upbeat and being a great teammate. Obviously, it has a lot of effect on our team. And he mentioned culture. Culture is something that's a sexy word to talk about all the time, or the hot word to talk about all the time. But to really believe it and live it and do it and be part of the design of it individually, as a coach and as a player, is a big deal. And when the biggest adversity, hopefully the biggest adversity that these guys have to face, or all of us have to face in their lifetime, hit them, they did what Mark just said. They chose determination over frustration and decided to make the most of what they could, and then really gratefully, with a lot of gratitude, grind through this year, knowing that even though it was difficult at times so far, it's so much better than sitting behind a laptop in their room. So our older guys, our younger guys, all of them are leaders. Mark's shown so much growth as a person, as a leader on our team, and as a volleyball player. I couldn't be proud of him. And, I know he didn't start the match tonight. Doesn't matter if you start all the time. It matters how you finish and who finishes. And what a great story on senior night to come in and steady the ship and get the win in 5. So I just think it's important that we salute Mark. He's our only senior this year, but it's a really cool story, and I appreciate everything he's done and everything his family has done to commit to being here from Florida and being a massive part of our success over the last many years.
Just to kind of bounce off that, Mark, how does it feel to go, back-to-back championships, then have the last couple of years? How is it to kind of be back ranked in another position to have a playoff run? What does that mean for you to be back? And did you think during those couple of years of adversity that you'd be back here in this seat, kind of just on the embarking on that journey to the Big West tournament and NCAAs?
It's a good question. I think every year's different. I think we should treat every year with presence, with attention to detail. There's, each team each year is a little bit different. We have different guys each year. We have a bunch of new guys this year compared to last year. We have a completely new team this year rather than it was back in 2019. It's just Shane, Spenny, and I who are left from that team. So it's oftentimes we'll talk. It's like, wow, there's a lot of new guys on the team, but that's great because it comes a lot of growth and a lot of understanding. And even with us, it's more guys to get to know and great to practice being a leader and trying to bring everyone together. So I personally don't want to compare this team this year to previous years, but rather grind out this year, and it is what it is, and we'll continue one step at a time and do what we can.
Thank you, guys.
Awesome. Thank you guys.